everybody. Welcome to the July 25th edition of the Courtside with Coach Crist show. I'm Greg Crist. That is Dave Gorby. Believe it or not, let's get a close-up. And Gorb finally be able to get back with us, and we are tickled to death to have him back. Not that we don't like having blank here, but that is Gorb's seat, and we'd like Gorb to be in it. So welcome back, Dave. First of all, we'd like to thank Mike Dunlap and Mark Parsons for their contributions to our show. They've been a tremendous help in securing guests for us and doing things for us on this show and our Mountaineer Locker Room show that's on Wednesday nights on these same channels. A little plug for the show. So we appreciate those guys for helping us out. And like we always do at the beginning of each and every show, we like to go out to our One Eye in the Sky, our Chopper One NRN traffic and weatherman. And Muggy is buzzing high above the clouds.
Wow, something else buzzing?
I get that spit out here in just a minute. He is buzzing high above the clouds tonight. So let's get on out and hear from our NRN traffic and weatherman, Mr. Muggy McLeod, and his sidekick, Misty Rains. Muggy, are you there?
Yes, sir, Coach. Spit it out there, you old hot tootie.
I got a little tongue. I used to say my tongue got in front of my eye teeth and I couldn't see what I wanted to say.
Yeah, well, you were definitely tongue-tied.
What's going on tonight?
You're all tied up. Well, this is McLeod with your NRN One Eye in the Sky, Chopper One traffic and weather report. I'm buzzing high above Route 7 and Route 2 up the Ohio River with my sidekick, Misty Purple Rains, and Earl the Squirrel, a.k.a. the Red Rocketeer. Right center shotgun.
I always forget Earl.
Oh, you can't forget Earl.
Nope.
Earl's on his last hind leg. He's 15 years old and not afraid of heights, which is a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Coach, we are coming to you unscripted, which is always fun.
Oh.
Get your finger on the button, Darren. Anyway, we are cruising around up to Route 2 and Route 7. As I began to think about your show tonight, I thought, well, let's cruise around up here because of all the stellar athletic prowess that came from this area.
Yeah.
Which is quite amazing, actually, all these little towns up through here. So as we fly up Route 2 on the West Virginia side of the Ohio River, and the Ohio River is, of course, if you're ready for Muggy's educational moment segue, the Ohio River, which belongs to actually West Virginia, and, of course, Ohio County, ironically, by West Virginia, and we would gladly give them what county, Coach?
Fayette. Lincoln.
You obviously weren't paying attention to Muggy's educational moment last week, Coach, when I offered up Hancock County.
Hancock, that's right. I forgot that.
Yes, sir. Coach, come on, get with the program. It's one thing to be tongue-tied, but to be brain-tied is not a good thing. Anyway, Coach, we are over New Martinsville, and that, is, of course, home of the late, great Bill Stewart. God rest his soul, died on the 17th hole at Stonewall Jackson.
Yep.
Yes, he did. So as we shoot across the Ohio River and come on up, skipping Moundsville, West Virginia, because, of course, there are many stellar athletes that came from Moundsville. No, can't think of any. Okay, so we're going to come on up toward, Bel Air, Ohio, Shadyside area, home of the Central Grill, one of my favorite places to eat out of. Tonight was Thursday night dollar wing night, and they have Busch Light on draft. So, hey, can't beat it.
Nope.
Stick. And so anyway, there is a famous Mountaineer quarterback from your 60s gang there, the Peach Bowl. He grew up in Bel Air, Ohio, I believe.
Yep.
Do you remember his name?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I'm glad you do because I don't.
Mike Sherwood.
Mike Sherwood, yes, sir. And okay, thank you for getting me through that one.
Yes, sir.
Right, we'll cruise on up to Route 7 toward Bridgeport, Ohio. And let's see who we got over here. The great John Havlicek.
Oh.
I grew up in Bridgeport High School, Bridgeport Bulldog he was.
Yeah, Phil and Joe.
Brothers. Yes, sir. Joe Negro had his hands on more knuckleballs than Pee Wee Herman in a theater.
Yep.
As we move on up Route 7, there's all kinds of action. Route 7 up towards Stupidville. Some people call it Stupidville. Depending on where you're from, it all sounds the same, stupid or stupid. And anyway, the home of Dean Martin.
Yeah.
Though he wasn't an athlete, he was an athletic supporter.
Yes.
But he was one of the Rat Pack, of
Yep.
course, and, which makes sense. And so there are other many great talented people up and down the Ohio River who is owned by
West Virginia.
Thank you again for bailing me out, because God only knows Monkey McLeod never says that every show. But anyway, a lot of stellar athletes up and down the river. Anyway, part of the great place of New Martinsville, where we'll bring you the weather from tonight. But New Martinsville is home of Quinette's home cooking and buffet restaurant, which I will say, Coach, is quite impressive. They have quite the buffet, and they have tributes there to Coach Stewart and all the other famous athletes from New Martinsville, which I'm sure you've never heard of. But anyway, if you mention this ad on to them, that you heard this ad on air, they will provide you one buffet for the price of one buffet. But anyway, and they won't charge you double price for the buffet like they do at Reesbeck's on your 30 rack of Busch Light, of which at times you have to go to Megan to get your money back, and she's always such a pleasant person.
Mm-hmm.
Wink, wink. So anyway, if you go there and mention this ad, they'll give you one buffet for the price of another buffet and allow you to look at all their great memorabilia on the walls for free.
Awesome.
So, but the weather is, of course, hot and crappy.
Yep.
As we move into the month of July, the dog days of summer are hitting us, and Earl's scratching fleas like, I don't know. Anyway, if I think of something, Coach, it probably will hit the censor.
Yeah.
But Earl's scratching the fleas, and the bees are out, and everybody needs to be careful from the heat until next week when the rain hits and it gets even crappier.
Yep.
But anyway, I will continue to enjoy my Nutter Butter milkshake from Dairy Queen with a little splash of cinnamon surprise. Straight from the freezer.
Sounds good.
If you know what I mean.
Yes, I do.
Okay, Coach. Mr. Gorby, glad to have you back. I'm so happy that Coach Crist does not have to shoot any more blanks. I mean, you have Coach Blanks on there. Anyway, glad you're back from your vacation, Corbs, and you guys enjoy your show. You have a couple of just big-time winners on tonight.
Absolutely.
Should be an exciting show. Anyway, Coach.
Yeah, I said yes, sir.
Say,
Yeah.
Coach?
I said yes, sir.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, my mouth's not working, but my ears aren't either, so that's a good combination. All right, I think Earl was standing on the court. That must be what.
Yeah.
Okay, Coach, I'll let you go. This has been Monkey McLeod, Misty, Purple Rains, and Earl the Pearl Red Rocketeer coming to you live from Route 7 and Route 2 on the Ohio River. This has been your NRN One-Eye in the Sky, Chopper 1, Round In Weather Report. Over and out, Coach.
Over now, Muggy. Y'all be safe up there.
Yes, sir, Coach.
All right, Muggy McLeod coming to us from.
I
Hey,
did want to give a shout out. Hey, wait! I did want to give a shout out down in Myrtle Beach, where people are listening in closely.
Okay.
And so what I got to say to one of your listeners is, "R.E." All right, Coach. Over and out. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, Muggy. Bye-bye.
I hope the copter's not taking a nose
I
dive
don't know.
right
He
now.
shut the helicopter off and was still talking.
Yeah, it's not good.
Phew, Muggy, feeling right tonight, sounds like. So, anyway, Gorb, I heard this little segment on the radio today, and I thought we might do it here. Not necessarily field time or pastime, but just because I thought it was interesting. And what it was, they did a This Day in Sports History.
Okay.
And got several here that happened. Well, not only in sports, we got one history. Because I was a history teacher and I like history, and thought this was interesting. But anyway, in 1913, on this day in history, Max Carey of the Pittsburgh Pirates scored 5 times in a game without getting a single hit. He reached base on an error and had 4 walks, and he scored every time he was on.
Wow.
How about that?
It's tough.
Don't see it very often.
No.
In 1940, American John Sigmund begins what would be the longest solo swim ever. He swam for 89 hours and 46 minutes from St. Louis to Carutheville, Missouri, in the Mississippi River, a span of 292 miles. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
1941, Red Sox pitcher Lefty Grove picked up his career victory number 300. He also it was also his final career win. It was also his last game he pitched. In fact, it was his 300th victory. 1961, the year I was born, Roger Maris hit a combined 4 home runs and a doubleheader. 1976, at the Montreal Olympics, U.S. sprinter Edwin Moses set an Olympic record time in the 400 hurdles with a time of 47.63. Pretty good, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's faster than that guy was swimming. And in 1992, the Olympics began in Barcelona, Spain. We just had the Olympics start here in Paris.
It starts tomorrow, right?
Yep, old Paris. Actually, I think some of it started today. I saw.
Oh,
some
did
of
it?
Yeah, I saw some.
They already did the ceremony and all that?
I think the way it's really confusing the way they're showing it.
Okay.
Because you got Peacock, you got NBC, you got about 5 other channels that have different segments of it. I think they've already started some of the events, soccer, and I saw them playing, I don't even know what you call this. They got a little ball, they run it down the floor and try to throw it in the net. I don't know what that game's called, but they were doing that. I think they do all those kind of preliminary games. They get them started. Then they had the big grand opening ceremony, and I think they wait until the weekend to do that because they want more people watching. I guess that's what they're doing.
Okay.
1956, Pittsburgh Pirates, Roberto Clemente hit Major League Baseball's first and still the only, walk-off inside the park grand slam for a 9-8 win over visiting Chicago at Forbes Field. That's pretty impressive. Anytime you have a record or something that happens, it's only happened once, that's pretty impressive, and that one is.
Right.
Also have our hell yells and our hell no's. I know that you probably haven't really had time to work on those since you've been out and about and busy. I've got a few. First hell yell is Ivan Puskovich and Mary Tucker. Puskovich, a swimmer. Mary Tucker, a U.S. rifle person from WVU.
Okay.
Participated for the Mountaineers.
Yeah.
In fact, the Mountaineers had 8 athletes. Well, WVU had 8 athletes that play for WVU that are in the Olympics.
Okay.
But these are the only 2 that are actually on the U.S. Olympic team.
Okay.
We've got a couple from Canada,
Yeah.
soccer players, and one Nigerian basketball player. So they've got several people in the Olympics, but only a couple that are actually from WVU, that play for WVU and are on the U.S. team.
Okay.
So pretty cool stuff there. The second hell yeah is the Paris Olympics.
Okay.
That those are getting started. I know. I don't know how many people like to watch the Olympics. I always thought it was fun to watch. I think most people kind of enjoy parts of it. You know, they have some crazy sports in there that we don't understand.
Right.
And but as far as watching the Olympics, I think people, they like to watch the basketball. The Summer Olympics. A lot of people like the track and field part of it, which is always entertaining. Some folks like the soccer. But we're usually competitive, of course, in track and field, basketball, major sports we're competitive in, and people like to watch those. I don't know when any of this stuff takes place. I just know that the Olympics have started and getting started, and the opening ceremony, I guess, will be this weekend. It'll go for a couple weeks. We'll have Olympic stuff. Do you watch any?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely something interesting to watch that, you only see every 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the same way with the Winter Olympics as well, know.
Yeah, and you see some sports on there like, dang, that's a pretty cool sport. Like that one I was watching today, I don't know what it was. They were running up down the floor and they had a little ball about the size of a dodgeball, trying to throw it in the net. They were tackling each other, knocking each other down, and it's pretty interesting.
Right.
I didn't know what was going on. I knew the object of the game was to get it in the net. The other team's object was to keep it out of the net. So it was pretty neat to watch that little bit. But we'll keep an eye on that and watch, and if we can figure out how, and then report back on it occasionally. Watching it, is another story, which I'll get to here in just a little bit. It's I don't know. It's a challenge. It will be a challenge. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
As far as our hell nalls are concerned, my first hell nall is the Paris Olympics. They're on Peacock.
Yeah.
And NBC and 5 other channels, and I don't know how to watch any of it. The only reason I can watch or watch today was I have an app. I don't even know what this app is, but it has like 7,000 channels on it, and it happens at Peacock, and those Olympic channels are on there, so I was able to get on there and watch some of it. But for the average person, I don't think too many people go by.
That's still fighting to just, hey, just we're going to stick with cable.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah. It's all getting to be crazy because, like, when streaming started, you only had like a couple streaming services. That's all you had to get. Now it seems like, well, if you like something here, you like something there, you like something,
right.
It seems like, well, now we got to get all the services. And for what we took cable out with, it seems like it's just getting right back to what that
right.
bill was, that total.
Yep.
And, and the reason that stuff has is because of competition, and then they're like, well, people are still going to get us, so
money.
It don't matter. It doesn't matter.
And I think, unfortunately, I think this is where college football, pro football, all that's going to be heading soon.
Oh, absolutely.
They're already putting NFL games on Peacock. And, most people, I think younger people are okay with that because they understand the streaming services, how they work. I think that recent lawsuit that was won against the NFL over the Sunday ticket will help some. It'll keep them from price gouging you because what they were found guilty of there was charging an exorbitant amount. You had to buy the whole package.
Right.
You couldn't just buy your team and watch your team every week, which is what most people probably would prefer.
So is that what I don't even, I really, because I've never gotten Sunday ticket. I've always gone to B-dubs or something and watch my team. So now you can select.
Well, no, they haven't changed it yet. But what the lawsuit was that you were being forced to buy this whole package, and it was an exorbitant amount of price. It was
well, they're doing it because there's 16 games a week,
right.
Or whatever it is,
right. So they were forcing people basically to buy the entire package or none at all. And they said that you couldn't do that. That was unfair.
So I do know Sunday NFL Ticket is on YouTube TV now. It's not on Direct or whatever it is.
Right.
So how much do you think YouTube bought out to get that?
A lot. And it's because this lawsuit, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I thought they said it was something like $4 billion or something was the verdict in it, I think. Is what I heard. So, they paid a lot for that. But, again, I like to watch, good games, if it's the Chiefs and the Eagles playing, I'll watch that. But I don't know if I'll pay for it or not. You know what I mean? Because neither one of them is my team. And then the thought of paying money to watch my team hurts me even more because my team is the Browns. And that pains me more to think that I might have to pay extra to watch them. So I don't know. I don't know where it's all headed, but I don't think it's going to be good for us. It's going to cost us money no matter how it is. And the same way with college football. They're starting to stream a lot of that now and talking about streaming services and that sort of thing. And that money talks. And when these big, these companies pop up and say, we'll give you X amount of money to show your games on stream, they're going to do it.
Right.
It's all about the money. And I don't know how it's all going to pan out, but it'd be tough on football fans and I don't know where it's headed. I don't know what's coming, but with you look at TNT losing the rights to the NBA. That's an example right there.
Yeah, you think this is going to be? Is this this coming year or the year after?
This coming year.
This coming year is going to be the last. Thing we'll have. Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, and Shaq. That's crazy to think.
Yeah, and if you're like me, I would a lot of times watch a half of a game or a quarter of a game just to get to halftime to see those guys.
Yeah, right.
And maybe even watch the end of the game. I don't watch a lot of NBA games during the regular season, but I would watch just to see those guys. Some of the best content on TV. But these people outpriced them, and took it from them basically. So it's where it's headed, and unfortunately, I think we're gonna be the ones to bite the bullet, so to speak, because we want to watch our teams play. But again, it's going to be hard for me to pay to watch the Browns. Let's be honest with you.
Yeah.
May watch them early, but I don't know after that. Second Hell No. I ain't going to say what the event was or anything like that because we don't get into politics and religion and all that stuff on here. But I saw Jim Justice and his fat dog
Oh, my gosh.
on TV the other day. And I was sitting there looking at that, and I thought, what an embarrassment. I mean, people here are like, oh, he got baby dog, and I'm just like, do you understand what kind of a image we project to the rest of the world? I mean, you got a big fat guy up there with a big fat dog and talking like he come out of the cornfields, and we're supposed to be proud of that.
Yeah.
That's one of my hell no's.
Like
Jim Justice and baby dog.
Like I said, I'm not trying to get into politics at all. I'm not saying this, that, but I think and you was a history teacher, but has like the last month and a half been like just
been bizarre.
It's been crazy. Like I've never experienced this like at all. Like just and like I said, I'm not getting into politics, but like when was the last time the president didn't like go at it? When was the last time?
Probably Lyndon Johnson, I'd say.
I mean, I thought they said it was like 50 or 60 years, something like that.
Yeah,
50 years.
Lyndon
maybe
Johnson was in the 60s, and
60 years in.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Roughly.
You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, but that's not the only thing that's obviously happened. But that's all I just want to say. It's been crazy. It's been a roller coaster on that.
Yeah,
on that.
It's crazy, and they talked about the one guy being too old. Well, the other guy's like 2 years younger than he is, and I'm like,
hey,
what the world are we doing?
What did you think about his putting stroke? Did you watch that at all?
Yeah, I thought his putting stroke was horrible for one thing. He did make some putts, and
that's why I was trying to figure out how he made putts. Like
because he just smacked it, Probably there's got to be some cheating going on some way, camera tricks or something. I think you got to take him down, Gord.
Man,
I think you can take him down. Now you might get shot by somebody in the CIA or something if you get too close to beating him, but. I don't want to get into talking.
No, I don't want to get. I was just staying on.
As a student of history, which I felt like I was, there's been more bizarre stuff happen in the last 7-8 years that I could even. I mean, I can't even. I look back and can't even imagine what has happened in this country has happened.
Yeah,
it just blows my mind. I think a lot of people have come out from the woods and. From under the rocks and have been speaking loudly, and it's scary. But anyway, aside from that, Jim Justice and his dog, how embarrassing. I just felt like that was embarrassing. All right, talking about costs, here's the next thing on my hell no list, Corbin. I know you'll be able to relate to this. Yeah. Should have some input on this. It came out yesterday that a survey of colleges, over 100 colleges across the country, considered big-time programs across the country, released their cost for attending a game for two people. Guess who was number one in terms of cost?
Us.
WVU. $264 is what it would cost the average couple to go to a game. It figured in tickets, 2 beers, 2 sodas, 2 hot dogs, and 2 tickets. $264 was West Virginia's amount.
Wow.
The tickets $200, and your hot dogs $6-8, your beers $18, your soda $14, which I know they all have to make money. I get it, and I know West Virginia has to make money to be able to compete. But $14 for a soft drink, come on, man!
Right,
and you go to games a lot. I mean, I go every now and then. I don't think it was quite that pricey. The last game I went to, I think we paid $11 for a beer. Only drank one. Maybe that's what they're trying to do is keep people like me from drinking.
You drank one inside the stadium.
Inside the stadium, yes, because it was $11. So I took my next $11 and bought me a 12-pack.
Yeah, right.
On the way home.
Yes, yeah.
But I was kind of shocked about that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I've been going up there since the early 90s, and shoot, I remember you go in there, you get unfortunately, I don't sell Chick-fil-A sandwiches in there anymore, but you get a Chick-fil-A sandwich for $4, and that was expensive Chick-fil-A sandwich back then.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I started going.
And I couldn't imagine how much a Chick-fil-A, if they sold a Chick-fil-A sandwich in there now, I couldn't imagine how much that would be.
Yeah, it'd be at least $10. I started going up in the mid '80s and bought season tickets, and my season ticket was $113.
Yeah,
for a season ticket. Now one ticket's $100. And I know that Frank and I are going to talk about this on one of our shows, the Mountaineer Show. One thing that I've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed or not, you probably have some, but I noticed the different makeup of the crowd when I went. We always had a reputation of being a really rowdy crowd.
Yeah.
The crowd's a little more subdued these days. The partying is not the same level of party I would say it used to be. I know people still go up and partying and all that, but now they're using their Blackstone grills and getting in their big Winnebagos and that sort of thing. Back when I was going, we partied. We ate some pepperoni rolls and drank some bottom shelf liquor while we were there.
Yeah,
and it's changed. The crowd it has changed, and I think they've priced out
the average
fan. Yeah, me and down below. They priced us out. I still go occasionally, and I wouldn't go if it cost $5. To be honest, I like to stay home and watch it on TV. I done got old and past all that, and I like it better that way. But people my age or my socioeconomic class, I guess you'd say, and down, just don't want to pay that money for
yeah.
I like to go, but I'm not paying. I'll tell you now,
like how many other, just say, I'm not, what would have to take a hit on your other adventures or hobbies or whatever for you to say, all right, I'm going to get a season ticket this year?
Gosh, probably gas, food.
Yeah.
It really, I don't know. I don't do a lot of stuff now, outside of family stuff and just your basic going out and eating and that kind of thing. I don't do a lot of that, but you factor in those costs right there, that $264. You still got to consider where we live, which is 2.5 hours away.
Right. Yeah.
So you're talking about an all day adventure where you're going to have to eat dinner. Probably have some breakfast or lunch, one or the other. And so it's going to be a whole lot more than $264. And I'm not saying I couldn't go. I could. I just don't really want to spend my money like that, to be honest. Yeah. And I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan, big supporter, and I understand the need for money, and I get all that. But there needs to be some measures taken to where the average fan can still get a chance to go, because young people, that's a lifetime experience for them to get to go up there. It's awesome. All right, we've yapped on about that long enough. We'll take us a quick break. When we come back, we'll have our special guest for the night, Sid Crist and Preston Boswell, two coaches at the University of Pikeville. Looking forward to that, so I hope you'll stay with us here on the Courtside with Coach Crist show on the New River Network. Stay tuned. We shall return after these messages. Crist Show. Greg Crist, Dave Gorby coming to you live from McGuffin's Mystery Hole out here on Gatewood Road in Oak Hill. And before we go any further, I want to give a shout out. 3 people down in the Myrtle Beach area watching tonight. Actually 4 probably. Gary Griffith, I'll have to mention him. My wife Jody and her good friends Paula and Keith Connor. That's 3 of my biggest fans, Gorby.
Okay, all right.
Maybe my only fans. I'm not so sure. I hope this next guy is a fan, though. We've got on the phone with us. We had promised you 2 folks. We've got one so far. We're waiting on the other to figure out how to log in. We'll get him on whenever he chimes in. We'll bring him out. But right now, we have the new associate head coach of the University of Pikeville men's basketball team and my beautiful son, Mr. Sid Crist. Sid, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me again. You guys are supposed to clap, I feel like.
Oh, okay.
I thought he had noise for that.
Yeah, I have a sound machine here, but I forgot to hit the button. Actually, all I have is drums and cymbals.
Yeah, there we go.
That's what the first-time callers get each week. Anyway, I decided to have Sid on here. We talk all the time, of course, and I know a little bit more about it than what I used to, but I thought it would be fun to have him on just to talk a little bit about NAIA basketball, what it is, and you know what happens and how it works and all that, and why people should be watching it because it's really good basketball. But first, Sid, I'd like for you to take a minute and tell the folks about this newest promotion that you got.
Yeah, so I was just promoted to associate head coach. I guess it's probably been in the last 6 weeks or so. Coach Faulkner, the guy that was with us before, our former associate coach, left to take on a similar role at Youngstown State, and once he left, I was able to get the bump. So here we are.
Out of the years that you've coached, I know your background in coaching. Tell how all that got started. I know you had a great mentor, but after that.
Yeah, so I grew up in the gym with you, obviously going to high school practice at Mount Hope and at Midland Trail, and got an opportunity to play at Glenville State for Stephen Dye. Joe Mazzulla and Rob Summers were the assistants, Bill Lilly as well. So went there and played for a year. I got to be super close with Coach Mazzulla. He left after my freshman year to take a job at Fairmont State and asked me if I would like to go tag along and be a student assistant, and I said yes and went. Another one of our players, Jamel Morris, went with us as a player. He just hit a game winner in the Elam ending in the TBT for Carmen's crew. I think it was last night. So spent 3 years there with Jared Calhoun, who's now the head coach at Utah State, and after that spent 1 year at the University of Charleston with Dwayne Osborne, and a year at West Virginia Wesleyan with Jack Merriweather, and then was hired here 6 years ago by Kelly Wells as a graduate assistant. Did that for 2 years, got my master's, and then Coach Wells retired at the end of that second year, right in the middle of COVID, and so I was able to get promoted to assistant coach at that point, and then was with Coach Compton here for the last 4 years, and got the bump here, like I said earlier, in the last 6 weeks or so.
In this new expanded role, what will be your additional responsibilities?
I don't know if there's any additional responsibilities. Having 2 full-time assistants at this level is not common, so we're able to split up most of the recruiting. I'll be in charge of a certain number of regions for junior colleges. Coach Boswell will be in charge of the other half. Same way in high school. We split all the scouts. It's more of a chain of command type of thing. I think when Coach Compton's not around, I think people will then look to me for the road that we're going on. Maybe he misses a practice or whatever he's at recruiting. I would then step in and run practices and those sorts of things. It's almost like just having a number 2 in the program. Awesome. If
you mentioned recruiting, and this was going to be one of my later questions, I'll go ahead and ask it now. If you are out recruiting and you're talking to Dave Gorby, for example, and Dave Gorby's 6'5", 280, and he's a hell of a post guy, what are you going to do or what are you going to tell him that will make him want to come to UPike?
Yeah, I think every kid is different, right? Everybody comes from a different background. Everybody comes from a different family, school, whatever it may be. So, there are things, the things that are important to people are different in every single instance. So that's a pretty broad question, but the University of Pikeview has great people. I think that's our biggest number one resource. The people here are awesome. Obviously we have a beautiful facility that we play in. The Appalachian Wireless Arena is where we call home. Our locker room facilities are unbelievable. We have a strength coach, 50 yards of indoor turf where we do conditioning and that sort of thing. So I think that there's a lot that we have here at our level that most at our level aren't fortunate enough to have.
Whenever you get your team assembled there and they start playing games, a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand the NAI. They don't understand what it is, how it works, where you play, who you play, your tournament, and all that kind of stuff. Won't you explain that?
Yeah. So, Division II basketball and NAI basketball are hand in hand. It's a different governing body rather than being under the NCAA's umbrella and their rules, I guess you'd say. We have our own governing body that sets our rules for us. In the olden days, there was no Division II basketball. It was NCAA and NAI. So you were one or the other. And so as time has changed and things have evolved, as time has passed, I guess we'd say things have evolved. You've seen more smaller schools go over to the NCAA Division II side. I think we have nearly 300 members at our level. The NAI national tournament is much different than the NCAA Division II tournament. The NAI national tournament, you could go anywhere in the country. It doesn't matter necessarily where you're at regionally. 2 years ago we made it. We traveled to Louisiana for our first round game. This past year we made it and traveled down to Miami, Florida for our first round game. Whereas in NCAA Division II, you're in these regions. There's 8 regions of 8 teams, and the number one seeded team in the region, they host the first 3 rounds of the national tournament, the round of 64, 32, and the Sweet 16. And then the winner of the Sweet 16 obviously goes on to the Elite 8. So that's probably the biggest difference. But other than that, the two, I think there's a ton of similarities in the two. At our level, it's a little bit bigger and faster and stronger. I feel like the Division II level is evolved into more of a skill and finesse type of game, where ours is still, beating on people in the post and similar to your Power 5 type of play.
Gotcha. And I want to ask another question about that here in just a minute about the comparison between NAI and Division I. But I think we have our other guest has finally joined us. He, I think, got rid of his dial-up internet and actually got real internet. So I think he might be on. Darren's trying to connect with him now. Any luck with that, Darren? Yeah. All right. So we do have Preston Boswell with us, I think. Preston, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we got you now. I just said I'm glad you got rid of your dial-up internet and got some internet so we could connect with you. Welcome to the show. Sid's already stole all your thunder, but welcome to the show. You are the new assistant basketball coach at the University of Pikeville. And real quickly, tell everybody about yourself, how you, what your background is, and how you ended up in Pikeville.
My name's Preston Boswell. I'm from small town in West Virginia, New Martinsville. Went to Magnolia High School. Had a pretty successful career there. We won a state championship my junior year. Then I went to play for Coach Sancombe at Wheeling Jesuit. Had 2 really good years there. Then transferred and played at West Liberty for a year. And then grad transferred and got my master's at Cal U and finished playing with Coach Sancombe. Then I did a year as a volunteer assistant with him. And then this past year, I was at Davis and Elkins with Coach Mondragon, who's at Mercer now, and was an assistant there this past year.
Awesome. So I got a guy here that may want to dispute a little your history.
I don't want to hear about your Magnolia career, man.
Guy by the name
Drop 30 points on us.
Dave
or 28. If he would have played another 30 seconds, it would have been 30 or 31.
Dave Gorby, I don't know if you know Dave or not, but Dave was assistant coach at Oak Hill High School.
No, it was Fayetteville. Well, it was Fayetteville then.
Yeah, back then it was Fayetteville High School. So, yeah, we remember that. Dropped 28. That's right. So
it was only 23-4 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah. I always heard the phrase "pooping down your leg." I've never seen a team poop so much down their leg as Fayetteville did that night.
Oh man,
what a horrible display from a good basketball team, really. So,
yeah.
Anyway, you I guess have been there long enough. Have you figured out what your role is yet, and how's it been so far?
Yeah, so I've been here for about my first day was Monday, so still kind of figuring some things out. Because I had known Sid for a while, or mutually we knew each other, and then getting to know him through this process has been good. But it's been really good getting to learn from two guys who have won a lot of games at this level, coming from the Division II level. The talent is there's a lot of talent at this level, so I just got to keep figuring out my role, like whether it's player development, whether it's whatever it might be. I'm a hard worker, so whatever they need me to do, I'm going to do. So
I was going to
still
ask
just
you,
getting used to.
Yeah,
I've never. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you. I know you said you've only been there a few days, obviously, so you don't really probably haven't got a good grip on everything yet. But Sid's already described the difference he feels like in Division II and the NAIA level that you're at there. And I always feel like there's a difference in NAIA level as well. Within the NAIA, there seems to be a difference of level. But what's the biggest difference you'll see in players in Division II and these players that you have at UPike?
Yeah, so I've only been around a few of the guys so far, and a few of them have been guards. I think the guards are pretty similar, like Kean, Warwicks, and Jalen, who will be a freshman. Like, they're very skilled. I think they would be successful in the MEC. I think they're those type of guards. As for the bigs, I've only worked with two, Cade and Nick Robinson. I think all like.
Went back to that dial-up.
Yep. Yeah, if you fade out there a little bit on us, let's flip over to Sid here just for a second, Sid. I was going to ask you about what you see as the difference in NAIA and Division I, because I know you guys get a lot of Division I transfers.
Yeah, the first thing I would say is Division I's right now have 13 full scholarships. We have 8, so that's the biggest difference. They can get into their bench. The 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th guys are full scholarship level players, whereas for us, when we get into 11, 12, 13, those guys aren't necessarily full scholarship players. They're good players, but not always full scholarship caliber players. The recruiting landscape for us is so much different for them. At our level, many teams aren't giving Pell checks back to full scholarship kids. If you get a full scholarship to the University of Pikeville and you receive the Pell Grant, that Pell Grant goes towards your schooling, and then we cover what's left. Whereas at your Division I level, those guys are getting their school paid for by the men's basketball team and a scholarship, and then they're getting a $7,000 check, cut into $37.50 a semester, and a refund check. That's the biggest difference.
Yeah. Preston, have you always? Was coaching something that you came out of school? When you played a little college basketball, did you think that coaching was where you wanted to go? Was it the millions of dollars, or what was it that brought you to coaching?
Yeah, so my first few years of college, playing professionally was always my goal. Like, I always thought playing overseas was something I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And then probably my last year at Cal, PA, I just really struggled with injuries, and I knew after I played professionally, or that was the plan, but after I played, I would want to get into coaching. But I struggled with injuries. I played on ankles that I wouldn't wish on anybody. And I talked to Coach Sancombe. I was like, I don't think I can put my body through it much more. So me and him had talked about doing that volunteer assistant, kind of graduate assistant type of role the year after. So injuries kind of forced me out. Not that I don't mind it. I had a good last year, but yeah, coaching it came earlier than what I was expecting.
Yeah. What kind of I don't know if you guys, and y'all can both answer this, have talked much about the philosophy of your coaching. What kind of a philosophy, what kind of team do you project to have at UPike? What's the philosophy behind your coaching style?
Yeah, I think I'll start just from being here. I would tell you the first thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to find good kids. We've really put an emphasis on recruiting regionally in the last 4 years, and if you look at our roster, it's mainly composed of kids that are from within a 2.5 hour radius of Pikeville. The kids that are from the area, they know what to expect, and we've gotten a much better type of kid in doing that. So that's made it really, really fun for us. When you talk about the philosophy, you're talking about on the court or just in general?
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing I would say. We're trying to find good kids that will represent us well and represent our school well and our program well. I think those three things are super important to us. And I know it kind of sounds like coach speak, but, up until I got here and even the first few years here, the majority of our recruiting had been done through the transfer portal or Division I transfers, Division II transfers, that sort of thing. And in the last 4 years, we've really put an emphasis on trying to do this thing regionally, and I think there's something to be said for that. We've been able to make the national tournament 2 years in a row, won 20 games 2 years ago, 23 I believe this past year, and a lot of people I think, especially coaches from our region, they don't feel like they can win with kids from our region, and I don't think that's the case. I think we've proven that to be a myth.
Yep, I would agree. Preston, what about you?
Yeah, so just having been around the coaches who are here and having been around the players, I just think there's going to be a product on the floor that's like toughness and gritty. Like you can throw out the X's and O's and all that. I just think having been around Coach Compton and Coach Sid and the players, there's just going to be a toughness about the team that night in and night out, whether we're shooting well, whether we're not, the guys are going to play their butts off, play as hard as they can, and they're just going to be tough and gritty and do the little things. And you can see that from the coaches in the offices. You can see it from the players in workouts. Like we've worked out a few days. The guys aren't going through the motions. They're putting 100% effort into everything. So having been here for 3 or 4 days, that's one thing I picked up. Like whether they're the most skilled or not, they're going to play as hard as they can.
Yeah. How much?
Just to piggyback off that a little bit, like the last 2 years I've done this has been especially the last 3 semesters. The last three semesters, it's been the funnest or the most fun 3 semesters that I've had doing it, and I think the guys in our program care about it. Kean Work's our point guard. He's from right here in Pikeville. Bradley Bunch is a first-team All-League guy that's coming back as a junior for us this coming year. He's from Big Stone Gap, Virginia. It's an hour away. We added Cade Looney, who's from Grundy, Virginia, 40 minutes away. Keenan Cutlip from Johnson City, Tennessee. It's an hour and 40 minutes from here to there. Connor Lane's from Twin Springs, Virginia. It's an hour and 20 minutes. Nick Robinson's a Pikeville kid. Ethan Colgrove is from Tug Valley. It's 45 minutes over there where he's from. We added Zion Blevins from Chapmanville. It's about an hour away. And I could go down the line of all these guys that we have in our program that are from the area. But when you bring people that are from this area together here, it just means a little bit more to them. And I think that shows on the floor, and that's what's made it so much fun.
Do you guys have any, I don't know if it's negative effects, or have you had any effects from the NIL? Does that affect you all any?
It's certainly changed recruiting. Recruiting moves way faster now than what it used to. It used to you would make contact with a kid, and then 3 or 4 days later you'd hit him again, and then 2 weeks later you'd have him on a visit, and then 2 weeks later you'd offer him and get an answer. I think now it moves much quicker, and especially at the Division I, Division II level, like they've got 3 or 4 days to recruit this kid before it's done. And so for us, what that has done is it's totally changed where we spend our time recruiting. If you look at our class this year, we have 1 Division II transfer. We have 3 junior college transfers. 4 junior college transfers, and 4 high school freshmen. And the 1 Division II transfer is a graduate student that's from Grundy, where Coach Compton's from. The 1 Division II transfer is a graduate student that's from Grundy, which is where Coach is from. So it's changed the way we recruit and how we spend our time in recruiting.
Right. All right, good stuff. I was going to ask you about some of the players to watch, but I think you named just about all of them, and I'm familiar with those players. You ought to tell your mom hi. She's watching down in Myrtle Beach, Sid.
Hello, Joe Bill.
And she's with Paula and Keith, our dear friends. So you can say hi to them, too.
All right. Hello, Pikey and KC.
There you go. All right. What we're going to do now, and we're running out of time, so what we're going to do here at the end was what we do with all of our guests, and you guys are right in with all the Hall of Famers we've had, professional athletes we've had. We all put them through this. It's a segment we call Shoot to Three, and I'll start with Preston. We're going to ask you 3 rapid-fire questions. What we'll do is we'll ask you one, let Sid answer it, and then we'll ask Sid the second one, and that way you'll have time to think about your answer. It wouldn't be fair if we had the same person answering the first one, and second one, and third one all first. So Preston's going to answer first, and then Sid, you could answer afterwards. And this is called Shoot to Three, and typically if you don't answer these rapid-fire questions within 30 seconds, Gorby comes and caps your knees and has a free meal.
I mean, if we didn't do it after that first round game, that's probably not going to happen.
That's probably not.
He capped my knees that night. That's what happened.
We just make up the rules as we go. We really don't have any rules. We just like to ask these questions. So, Preston, here you go. Question number 1. You have to die. Other than old age, how you going out?
Oh,
Clock's running, man.
Yeah,
high-speed car crash.
Car crash.
that's why he's in right now.
Wow. Boo. Boo on that answer. All right, Sid, you got to die. Other than old age, how you going out?
Struck by lightning, picking my ball up out of the hole after a hole-in-one.
There you go. That's a better answer. What do you think, Gorby? Like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Joey Coldcuts got a hole in one in the video that came out today. So
That's Gorby's guy on YouTube. I'm not sure who he's a guy.
well, I'm more of a Fat Perez guy, but yeah, Joey's is on that same channel. So
Getting struck by lightning as you pick your ball up out of the hole after you hope some friends were there so they witnessed the hole-in-one. All right, Sid, question number 2. They're going to make a movie about your life. Who's going to play the lead role as Coach Sid Crist?
Kevin Bacon.
All right, Preston. You're going to make a movie about your life. Who's going to play the lead role as Preston Boswell?
Steve Carell, big office guy.
Oh,
Okay. All right, there you go. All right, sounds good. All right, question number 3. Preston, if no one knew who you were and you had to come out your first game at UPike to a walk-up song, what would that walk-up sound like, and sing a few bars for us?
Oh, I got to sing?
Just a little bit, yeah. We really can't force you to, but
come down there. We got to tap those
Tell me
knees.
some knees.
Tap those knees.
It's good. All right, let's hear it.
Did you hear it?
I did not hear it. Gorby was talking. My bad.
Do it again.
Got to sing it twice.
Something in the orange tells me we're not done.
Oh, man, you ain't getting me singing over here. There ain't no way.
All right,
Ain't no
Sid,
way.
you got a walk-up song coming out of Pikeville. Nobody knows you. Come on.
It would be Q Country Roads by Charles Wesley Godwin, and the lyrics have
A
vanished.
little love behind it. How's it go?
The lyrics have gone. I can't sing on this thing now. Come on. I mean, that's crazy. I can't believe you did it, Coach P. I ain't done it.
You ought to heard Rob Summers. He got down and he broke it down for us. It was awesome.
Great.
Yeah, Rob Summers was good. He jumped right in and said, "Yeah, I'll sing it for you." So I don't know what mine would be. What would yours be, Gorb?
I don't know. No idea.
Yeah. I guess mine be like, I wish Grandpa's never died.
What is the what's the one, Gorby, that Big Billy Bats walks up to for Tennessee? That's a good one.
What's he talking about?
Billy Babs from Tennessee.
Billy Bats, the catcher from Tennessee. He's got everybody's going. They're clapping when he walks up. What's the name of that one?
Oh, I don't even know.
Oh wow.
I don't even know.
All right,
I'm awful.
It fell apart pretty quick.
Yeah, I knew. I don't.
All right, we'll do one more before we quit. We got to quit. We're out of time. All right. Who went first last time?
Preston did.
Preston went first. All right, Sid. You have a chance to be the fly on the wall in somebody's house. Whose house are you going to be in and be that fly on the wall?
Oh boy. I would like to know what's going on in the home of Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. That could have been interesting a few years ago. All right, Preston. I'm going to change it up a little bit. We're not going to ask you the same question. If you had a superpower, you got to pick one superpower to have for a day, what would it be?
Superpower for
one day.
One day. Ability to fly, I guess. That's basic, but
Yeah. Yeah, Preston must really lead a boring life. I
do.
You
always make me invisible. You always make me invisible.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'd be invisible for a day.
Yeah.
Now, all that money I'd be carrying out of the bank wouldn't be invisible, but I would be. They wouldn't know who had it.
I do.
And the girls' locker room. No, we'll get into that. All right. That sounds good for tonight. We're out of time. We appreciate both of you guys for joining us. And we enjoyed talking to you, like hearing about that NAIA basketball. It's always good basketball. Love to watch it. And people need to get out and check it out because it's good stuff. And we know UPike will be good again, like they always are. So we're looking forward to that. Sid, Preston, we appreciate you guys.
Thank you for having us.
All right, man.
Sorry about the internet.
That's all right.
No,
That's
you're
all right.
good.
You'll get it upgraded. No problem. Appreciate you guys.
Yep.
All right. Sid Crist and Preston Boswell from UPike. Pretty good stuff right there, Gorb. I tell you what, in all honesty, if people don't know if they like to watch basketball, if there's an NAIA game around close, they need to go watch it.
Yeah.
Because it's good. I'm telling you right now, good basketball. Good basketball. And, they've had a lot of D1 transfers down from different places, some of the best basketball players I've seen in person. And people really need to take advantage of it and check them out because they are good. All right. Anything else? That's going to do it for
No, we're good.
another Thursday night. We enjoyed having those two guys on. That was a lot of fun. We're sorry about the hookup problems there at the beginning, but we got it all squared away. Didn't get to talk to Preston much, but we'll have him back on later on, probably in the basketball season, and talk to him some more. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate you lovely folks down in Myrtle Beach tuning in. And we look forward to coming to you again next Thursday night on the Courtside with Coach Chris show here on the New River Network. We appreciate you watching. Good night, everybody.